Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I say welcome back, that's very presumptuous and assumes that you've already been here. I'm Rick McEvoy. This week on my blog and my YouTube channel, how much should I charge for real estate photos? Well, for those of you who are familiar to me, I've been doing a series of posts and videos about real estate photography, which is the thing that I do. I'm also working on a course on real estate photography, which will be available to buy very, very soon, which is very exciting. It'll be my first course. Okay, so how much should I charge for real estate photos? The amount now this is the bit that I read out, and after that it's ad-libbing all the way, don't worry. That's what I like to call the answery bit. The amount you can charge for real estate photos depends principally on the value, size and type of property you are photographing, and the location that property is in. Your experience, portfolio, quality of work, reputation, quality of service delivery, and your interpersonal skills will also influence the amount you are able to charge. The final factor is the state of the economy, markets, competition, and how much you need the work. Last thing first, how much you need the work. If this is all you do and you're desperate for it, there's a risk that you might work for any price. I don't advise that you do that. You need to charge a fair price for what you're going to do. So how much can you charge for real estate photography work? Well, I can't give you a number. I can't say charge X £100 or dollars because there are so many variables. I've told you the main parameters that will influence how much you can earn, which is great because these give you an idea of where you might want to put yourself in the market. But the easiest way to find out how much a real estate photographer is prepared to pay for photography is quite simply phone them up and ask them. They'll tell you. There's no secret to this. Just ask the question and you'll get an answer, and that will give you a great starting point. Now you can ask them how much they pay for different values and sizes of properties, which will give you a range of things, and it also gives you something to aim for. If you're happy doing, I don't know, 2 small houses a month just to give you some extra money to buy gear, that's absolutely fine. If you want to make a living from photographing exclusive country residences, equally fine. You're just putting yourself at different points of the market where there's different incomes, but there's different levels of service required. Now, on my course about real estate photography, the one thing I keep on coming back to is service. What's the one thing that's going to set you and that's quite good that. What's going to set us apart from other photographers? This is going to be controversial and a little bit disappointing. Are your photographs going to make you stand out from other real estate photographers? No. See, real estate photographers provide professional standard photos. Now that's an expectation, that's a must. It's not an option. You have to provide professional standard photos. So a real estate agent is paying for professional standard photos. Now, a real estate agent does not want a work of art. Now, when you get to the higher end, millions and millions and millions of pound ones, then maybe we're talking about something different there. But for most conventional houses that most conventional people buy, which is where most of the work is, real estate photographers want high quality photos, which in theory, and this is the horrible bit, anyone can take. Anyone can take professional standard photos. The technology, the gear, the knowledge these days enable pretty much anybody to do it. Now I know that sounds a little bit, I don't know, well, it's an unpopular view, but it's true if you think about it and if you're honest with yourself. Now the photos I take of real estate, they're not great. They're absolutely fine. They are, hate the term, fit for purpose, but they are. They're to a professional standard. They're not works of art. But the agent doesn't want that. He wants photos that show the property to help him sell it or lease it That's all these people want, and quite rightly, that's the job. They're not selling works of art, they are selling and leasing houses, offices, shops, commercial premises, whatever. So the photos have to be technically correct, well photographed, well composed, accurate, realistic and flattering. Okay, so you got to do all that regardless. What else can you do to set yourself apart? It's the quality of service. It's how you are with people, how you treat people, how you deal with them, how you talk to them, how you communicate, how you make your client's life easier by giving them great service. That will set you apart. Now, I'm sorry, I know this is not what the subject is meant to be about. How much should I charge for real estate photos? But it's an important thing that I just want to keep on banging home to people because it is important and it's not spoken about. We all talk about f-stops, ISOs, tripods, this lens, that lens. We don't talk as much about the quality of the service, do we? Okay, so going back to the blog post, I charge a fixed fee for a real estate shoot. I obviously charge as much as I can do, but a property only has so much money in it for the real estate photography. And that is why I have written a couple of blog posts. Last week was a great example. It was about, do you want me to photograph your Dorset country residence? Now that is my target market. Lovely, expensive country homes in the county where I live and work, Dorset. I'm not excluding other counties, it just had to get really specific. Now, to work in these environments, you can charge more. If you're photographing, I don't know, houses at the more modest end of the market, then you can't charge as much. So you've got to. So that's one of the factors in how much you can charge is what you're photographing. How good you are, yeah, that's a factor. In fact, I'm going to give you some numbers here. What kind of rates can I charge? The fee for most real estate photography work, reading from the blog post here, which I hope you don't mind, will be in the range of £50 or dollars to $300. £50. Are you going to work for £50? Well, we've all got to start somewhere. And that's where I started off photographing damaged cars and getting paid £15 for the privilege. I then progressed up to houses, photographing them and producing floor plans for £50 a job. And those rates still apply now, some years on. Like I say, you have to start somewhere and you have to build up. So if that's where you're starting off, that's absolutely fine. I did it, but I had aspirations to photograph more expensive houses and earn more money, and that is what I do. So, depends what you're photographing, where you're photographing it, and who you're photographing it for. Right, what else can we talk about here? I don't want to talk about anything else because I don't want the video to be too long. Now, I can't talk about rates around the world, obviously, but they're going to be similar. But the beauty is that, unlike other markets, wherever you are in the world, if you want to know how much a real estate agent is going to pay for photography, you can phone them up and ask them because you know what they're looking for. You see examples of the work that others have done. So it's really helpful. There's lots of information there. If you just take a second and think about it, phone 3 agents, you got your pricing, work out how much you need to earn, work out where you want to be in the market, and then try and get some work. Okay, I am done for this episode. Just checking through. There's nothing else I want to add. No. Right, so what's on my blog next week? Well, there's nothing written. I've come to the end of my posts written in advance, so I'm going to have to get something done sharpish. But I'm still trying to finish off my course, so it's probably going to be a blog post about my real estate photography course. Why not? That'll wrap up real estate photography nicely and give me some time to plug my course. I've been Rick McEvoy. Check out my website, rickmcavoyphotography.com. Check out my Photography Explained podcast, which has had a nice little increase in downloads, which is most welcome. And that's it. I'll say thank you for now. Like I say, I've been Rick McEvoy. I will see you on the next video. Cheers from me, Rick.